Yes, I'm still wearing my gator bait jacket. I still haven't found myself not to be gator bait. My name is Rory Houlihan. I ran for U.S. Senate this spring 2016 to stop the ticking time bomb so I could put our economy on track for a bright new day. Instead of all things ending, let me educate you on the ticking time bombs and give you the rest of the story. We're going backwards. Part 12C, Henry Ford followed Jesus' way. Henry Ford was facing a quandary. His assembly line was able to bring down the cost of his cars down, but not low enough for what folks currently were making. Before Henry Ford's cars were strictly the toys of the very wealthy. So what do you think Henry Ford did? He knew that there was a wage gap, and he knew his Bible. He could only control his own charity. So Henry Ford did a brave thing in those days. He unilaterally raised his workers' wages. Most folks at the time told him that this was absurd folly, but a good friend and mentor, Thomas Edison, Thomas Edison got excited and said, "Don't stop, keep this idea up. It's a great idea. I'm going to follow it too." Guess what? The raising of wages at his plants didn't cost him money. It saved him money. Ford was able to draw on the smartest and hardest working from the area, heck, from the country. Higher paid workers didn't steal from him. They instead worked harder to save him money. Ford lowered significantly shrink at his plant. The employees were more loyal to him and not less. Charity breeds greater loyalty and productivity in your workforce. Today, if you overlap the top 100 businesses to the work list of the top most productive businesses, you see that they are often the same. Henry Ford was able to raise wages, so the wage gap disappeared and he had increased his market to the working man, which soon became a huge growth market, something current Ford top management could probably learn from. Bill, good example. Remember, Etzel died because of a mistake on that part. Now, let's take a look at one of the Donald's picks for Secretary of Labor, Andrew Puzder, CKE CEO, parent company of Hardee's and Carl's Jr., is a anti-Matthew 20, anti-literally any minimum wage by his writings, let alone one that you can live off of, is anti-overtime pay, is anti-paid leave, sick time. Are restaurants a good place to start a plague, I wonder? Are plagues good for your type of business, restaurant? Putzer is a real advocate of the hardworking man and Christian values. I don't think so. Where do I get this idea from? Well, Trump's labor pick, Andrew Putzer, is a critic of minimum wage. New York Times, December 8th. Trump's pick for labor secretary wrote a dissertation on deregulatory manifesto, ProPublica, December 15th. Donald Trump's labor secretary picked Andy Putzer, who makes 300 times what his frontline folks make. That's sell on December 8th, 2016. Oh, by the way, in 2012, he reported making that year $4.458 million, about 291 times what a minimum wage cashier would make. Do you think he knows what kind of life the folks who work for him live? Or cares? When he says, well, if they raise their wages, I'm going to have to replace them with machines. That's his idea of spurring labor growth. Anti-labor, anti-hardworking, anti-American. Not. He is not good for this country. I do think he is for replacing folks with machines and put in rules to do such. Doesn't Puzder say this a lot? Actions speak louder than words. Putting the greedy over the needy is a ticking time bomb. Let me make a prediction. If he becomes Secretary of Labor, we will have a full-fledged recession due to the consumption collapse, followed by a full-fledged recession because of Donald's treasury pick. Remember that all poverty is relative. Cap and slide tactics of the 2000s has made everyone on those lines, wage growth lines, poor, weakening every hard-working person in those right-to-work states and the surrounding states, setting up a game of roll over, one falls out, where blacks and Hispanic youth fall out and pushed them into an illegal market. Hardly pro, good person, and Christian values. Your conservative right to work values chump the hardworking and push our youth into the world of illegal. Our weak economy is already showing signs of this collapse, starting thanks to the election results now. Without a national minimum wage increase in sight, the recession will start with the widows and the weak. Our recession will be just a matter of time. One of the leading indicators of consumption collapse and recession is the IRS stats. IRS revenue is down in the last 6 months, showing hardworking folks' incomes and businesses' incomes are down. We had a good retail Christmas season, I know, but many of the items were low-margin sales items. The Donald administration is hoping that an unfunded construction boom will do the job. But the federal government can tax you also through inflation and interest, through fiscal and monetary policy. Taxing through inflation and interest is a back pocket taxation strategy and will negate the effects of the spending because higher inflation and interest weakens consumers and business investment. Well, many of you voted for the Donald because he would blow up and shake up our government. Well, it looks like he's going to eventually blow things up. With the picks I see, Donald is keeping his word. And these picks aren't good for hardworking folks like you and me. I'm still Gatorbait. You have a good and blessed day. Bye.